Why, hi there, I'm Ron Chuckett, and it's time for another edition of Uncle Ron's Thoughts. Today is not a happy day in Red Sox Nation. This 25th of August, 2015. It came out, started to leak out Friday, but really came out today, Tuesday, that the Boston Red Sox, in their infinite wisdom, have decided to part ways with their play-by-play announcer, Don Orsillo. Well, in some cases, that wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing. The team has the right to employ whatever announcers they would like, and the Red Sox own their own television channel. They certainly have full control over that and a say on who is doing the call and the analysis on the radio. But what made Orsillo different from some other teams was he's actually good. He's so good, he's earned a spot on the Turner playoff rotation when they had the entire the entire league division series, all four of them. He and Buck Martinez would pair together. When popular analyst Jerry Remy first battled lung cancer and then pneumonia and then the legal issues with his son following the murder of his son's girlfriend and the custody battle over his granddaughter, Jerry wasn't there, and Orsillo had to work with a number of different people on any given night. He, I think, worked with like 57 different partners over a 2-year period. And that's where Don became, for lack of a better word, that's when he got noticed for just how good he is. Yes, he can be goofy, and starting from the day when he couldn't figure out how a lunar eclipse worked and thought that the sun passed between the Earth and the Moon, which caused hysterics, and then there was the pizza toss, which caused hysterics, and then there was the boob grab against Baltimore, which caused hysterics, and then there was the night that Orsillo got on Jerry Remy for pronouncing his R's with so Haba and Harvard and all that. He could be goofy, but he was a very good play-by-play guy. He certainly grew into the role. I mean, my goodness, his first ever game was Hideo Nomo's no-hitter in 2001, and he was the primary caller of 3 Red Sox World Championships, and that's where turns out to be a mistake. Not that the Sox have won championships, but over the course of a summer, especially when things haven't gone well, and let's face it, 3 of the last 4 Red Sox seasons, actually 6 of the last 7 Red Sox seasons haven't necessarily ended all that well. It doesn't necessarily have to end in a World Series championship, but we're looking at 3 last place finishes in 4 years. The playoff collapse a couple years ago, having the 10-game lead, which cost Terry Francona his job. That one fabric is who brings you that game. It's not necessarily the players on the field, although that's certainly an important part of it, but players come and go. Even in 2004, which was the success beyond success, the Red Sox dressed 50 different players that year and 26 different pitchers. They were lucky. Only 8 started. I'm doing this for a project that I'm doing now. The daily fabric in and out is that announcer. It's how they get you excited for the games. It's not the Twitter polls that Nesson seems to love. It's not the Wally wave, which drives you nuts. I mean, sometimes, yes, Orsillo and Remy could go a little too far with the back and forth banner. But hey, if you go and watch a video of Jerry Remy losing a tooth, that's pretty gosh darn funny. No, they are the voices of the season, the year in, year out, the one constant in baseball. You can read different people in the paper, you can listen to Joe Castiglio on the radio and Dave O'Brien, who supposedly is getting the television job. But those men are the one constant in every season for the Red Sox, in any season of baseball. Yes, there's the park and all that, but supposedly there were 2 factors from my reading that cost Orsillo a shot at extension. One, the fact the Red Sox would made Orsillo take a vacation in the middle of the season. It's what you do. Why wouldn't you want to call all 162 games? If he was asking for vacations and not getting them, that's a different story. But even Vin Scully calls as many games as he feels comfortable with, and if he felt comfortable with calling them all, I'm sure he would. No one would ever question it. So why was Orsillo, who is my age, maybe a couple years older, I think he might be 45, mandated to take some time off to stay fresh? Well, let me tell you, Ness, and no one's watching this garbage team in September when they're 20 games out of first place. It doesn't make any sense. And the other is that Nesson is notoriously cheap. They wanted to, at one point, fire the television announcers for the Bruins, who also owns part of the channel, and combine the radio and television as a simulcast. I believe the radio guys were going to go, and Jack Edwards was going to do a radio simulcast. God help you people. They can't keep sideline help. They can't keep the young reporters in there. Yes, you grow on from those things in network jobs, but NESN is notoriously cheap. Orsillo is good. If you ever watch the baseball package on television or watch other announcers, really, outside of the combo in San Francisco of Krukow and Mike Krukow and Dave Kuiper, Frank Kuiper, and John Miller, who called those games, and Gary Cohen, Ron Darling, and Keith Hernandez on SNY, who call the Mets games. Really, do you want Bob Carpenter calling your games? Do you need such a homer? Do you need someone to tote the party line? If Orsillo was anything, he was kind of sparse, let Remy do his thing, and didn't criticize, but didn't root for the team either. But they were a very hand-and-glove combination. And NESN, outside of their game production, is terrible. Is absolutely terrible, really. Charlie Moore, Sox Appeals, Dirty Water. I mean, come on. Who the hell wants to watch that crap? So Orsillo, for a lot of people on Twitter, because Twitter is a younger medium and a younger people's medium, Don Orsillo is the only Red Sox play-by-play man that they've ever had on television, which predominantly is how people take in their games. It used to be radio, but now it's television, because NESN's available anywhere in the country, and if you plunk down the money for the television package, he's available every night online. That continuity will now be lost, because they weren't, I don't know why, because you will not find anyone to say a bad word about Orsillo, except for ones who just don't appreciate how difficult it is to do baseball on television. I mean, I do these games for YouTube, calling the baseball games, and have to run my mouth for 35-40 minutes at a time, and the only game match can take you so much. You got to find a way to entertain somehow, and Orsillo has done that, and is one of the best the Red Sox have ever had in doing that. He's part of a long line of announcers back from Sean McDonough and Ned Martin and Ked Coleman and Kurt Gowdy, who let the game speak for themselves. And yes, it is a conflict, because NESN wants it to be an entertainment program that, oh, by the way, there's a baseball game through there. And maybe it's best for Orsillo to be able to show what kind of a national presence he is. But it's a dumb move. It really is a dumb move. He deserved better than that. He didn't deserve to have it leaked in the middle of the season. He didn't deserve to be yanked in the middle of the season. He is the connection of teams who... we don't have memories of those World Championship teams of the teens. We have grainy film memories of 46, with the one complete game of 67, and a few games from 75. We're not talking a huge archive here. Orsillo was the voice, the primary television voice, for 3 championship teams and a number of near misses. He called great games. He called lousy games. He enjoyed it. He loved what he did. So, shame on the Red Sox. Another questionable decision about what I guess Dave O'Brien is going to replace him from what is being talked about this afternoon. But you lose something there. When the Detroit Tigers fired Ernie Harwell, who was just an absolute peach of a man, there was such an outroar they brought him back after a year. I think the Red Sox are going to do whatever the hell they want to do, but it just, in my mind, reads as a huge mistake. And so that's Uncle Ron's thoughts. Hit like and subscribe, and you can get these and games and me being a general idiot. And you can follow me at Twitter or on Jacket. So until then, I'll talk to you the next time.